Hello and welcome to chapter 26. We're going to do 6 chapters because the middle chapters flow quite quickly. This is Quinn, Quinn, Quinn Luke, and he's my son. He's playing under 9 cricket. He's going to be a superstar, so remember the name. If you don't believe me, go to his YouTube channel, Quinn Luke Cricket, and you'll see what he's doing on the cricket field and in practice. So if you see this, you'll be one of the first to see him. So keep working hard, Quinn. Well done. Proud of you. And go and read your books, okay?
Okay.
Just bud.
Okay.
Okay. Middle chapter is going nice and smoothly. 26 is a very short chapter. We read about, we did in chapter 25, we finished off with Planck. This discovery, this horrible discovery that Planck planted the transponder into his own hand with that thick needle, and it looks like someone slaughtered something in the bathroom there. And Greg's like, and then they laugh about it, but he doesn't know how he's going to explain this to Zander. Anyway, in Strixie's chapter 27, then they made that plan, remember, to Photoshop the hand and made it look like the thing was in Greg's hand, and the plan works. Zander sends Greg a telegram message saying, "Julle is daarom so gullible, ek het die transponder geactivate, nou is jy myne," and then something else, it's not too important, but he's like saying, "Now you're mine, you belong to me, I can read your mind," or whatever. And Greg gets a bit of a fright, but it's kind of great. Zander was just joking. While Planck was sleeping, Greg takes his arm and swipes it over the laptop to finally open up this bloody laptop that Zander sent to him. Remember, he sent it in 2 packages. The first package was the laptop and then the transponder. Okay, and on the laptop, surprise, surprise, there are some hacking tools, hacking gereedskap, kuberkraker gereedskap, some maps, and a video. On the video, okay, so on the video, we'll see what's there now. That's important. So what's on the video is very important. So 3 things, okay? So hacking tools, a map, and a video. And then this is on the video. Zander explained that to Greg what he must do. These are the instructions, right? He must destroy his skootrekenaar, his laptop, and his cell phone. Do that. He says the baker knows who you are, okay? And he sends him plane tickets also via telegram. Where to? To Istanbul in Turkey. So the whole literal setting of the book is going to change to Turkey. From South Africa to Turkey. From chapter 28 onwards, we are no longer in South Africa. Okay, it's still a secondary setting because they refer back to his mom and his dad who was still in South Africa. But yeah, if you don't know what it looks like, I just drew some pics off the internet. That looks like a kind of a temple thing there. That's what the streets look like. Pretty much your typical touristy kind of busy country with a pretty old culture, pretty old history, stretching right back to Roman times. Okay, so very interesting choice of setting here. Everything is very beautiful and organized, and it kind of forms a stark contrast to Greg's circumstances and a stark contrast to the ugly parts of the underworld, the hacking underworld and the crime underworld that they are dealing with. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. Later they also move to another setting and you get the same kind of contrast. Beauty and order versus chaos and evil. Okay, that sort of thing. But we'll talk more about that. Now, the problem is now, Planck is kind of forcing himself into a position of being a passenger. Hy moet saamkom Istanbul to because Greg need him to sign into the computer, because they can't exactly tell Zander this. He would completely freak out. Obviously, you wonder, well, is he ever going to find out? Well, let's see. Planck was, this guy, when he looks like when he smokes weed, he's absolutely crazy. He just wants to like cut out the thing again with a knife. He's like, no, don't worry about that. Let's cut it out again. Give me a sharp knife there. Even though it's sore, and they kind of laugh about it, and you know, they're good mates, so it's all good. Greg immediately gets rid of, raak ontsla van sy laptop, and he kind of hesitates with his phone. I think most of us would seriously not throw our phones away unless it's like life-threatening. So he waits until he's actually at the airport. He should have gotten rid of it much sooner to be safe, in case you've been followed. Remember, he's already been followed. He's already under pressure right within Stellenbosch, within his hometown. There are people being murdered and followed. So this, it might sound drastic, but I think if someone says to you, throw away your phone or risk your life, we would dump that thing, man. Then there's quite an important scene. It's only one bullet point here, but he says goodbye to Lisa, okay, the girlfriend. And by the way that they say goodbye to each other, or they greet each other, you can kind of see that they are quite a serious love relationship here. And it does, not to be a spoiler, but it does turn out to be quite serious, as we'll see later in the book. So these two really have connected in quite a profound way. Cool. Chapter 28. Vlug na die vreemde. Vlug is, of course, a flight, or it can also mean to flee. So there's a little bit of pun in the title there. Are they fleeing to die vreemde is the foreign country, of overseas country, the unknown. Okay, that's what vreemde there means. I should have put the translation in, sorry. A flight, or a flight, or like fleeing. So it could literally mean two things. In Greg's case, it's not really fleeing from the problem. It's probably moving closer to the problem. Okay, so there's a bit of a contradiction in that title, but clever title. I like it a lot. That's pretty skillfully written. Sorry, I'm just going to put this editing off so that it doesn't give me little lines, because I might just lose my mind here if it's checking my Afrikaans spelling. There we go. Alright, chapter 28. By die lughawe bel Greg sy ma. So before he flies off into the unknown, he phones his mom. Now, just put yourself in his shoes. He can't really tell her the real reason. I mean, you can't tell her, listen, I'm not going to be able to contact you because I'm throwing my phone away, because I'm following Zander to Turkey. Planck is with me with a transponder in his hand, and I am going to find the baker. No, there's something you just can't tell your mother. Okay, and how would you even put that in language? I don't know. And he doesn't tell her the real reason. He kind of just gives her the extreme light version and saying to her he's going to study something overseas. He won't be able to contact her. Don't stress. She obviously doesn't buy it, but the less she knows, the better. It's also for her protection. It's for her bescherming, right? If she has information about his whereabouts, it should be very easy to kind of target and get that information out of her. Hy sê vir haar dat sy hom nie kan bel nie, and that he has Planck with him. So don't stress, don't phone me, you can't phone me. I have Planck with me, so relax, I should be safe. when he phoned her, she was busy looking at old photos of their kinderdae, their youth, old school photos, just kind of reminiscing and obviously looking at photos that John was in as well, her son who committed suicide. Must be the absolute worst thing for a parent, is to experience that. Greg then dumps the phone, his cell phone, in 'n asblik by die lughawe. It's a little bit late, but rather late than never. 11 ure later, it's an 11-hour flight straight from Joburg to Istanbul. And when they get there, Greg sends Zander a message. He's like, listen, bud, we are here. What now? Zander weet nog nie. He doesn't know that Plank is with them yet. Okay, he's about to find out. And Greg has to now go to a strange place, the Basilica Cistern. Okay, I've never heard of it. I had to Google it. There's a picture of it. It's like an old water reservoir from, I think it's from the Roman times, right? So, and it's these big, beautiful pillars and stone statues and things in there. Major tourist attraction. I read on the internet it's actually not even worth going there because the queues to get in there is ridiculously long. Don't know if that's true or not. So Zander picks this peculiar place to meet them, but also a highly symbolic place. It's symbolic in the sense that, and it's not the first setting that will contain water. They'll move one that contains a lot of water later on. In fact, the whole city is on top of water where they move later. But it just, the layers, it speaks to the layers in the book. Obviously in the book there's the world and then the underworld. There's the real world, there's the underwater world. It speaks to the symbolism of the world operating in layers of depth, and that it tries to build in layers of meaning, or point us to the subconscious, to point us to the underworld, to point us to what's deep within the heart, what's deep within the mind. And so the setting kind of adds weight to the idea that nothing is simple, that everything is layered, that you kind of have to peel back layers to find meaning. Hope that makes sense. We'll put that in a little bit later, right at the end, when I just summarize some of the symbols. Okay. Cool. They equip Istanbul cart with it. They can use in public transport. That's how they operate. They go in these high vast, I don't know how you say it, buses. Okay. And this I just got off the internet. This is the Basilica Cistern. A cistern is like a reservoir, so something that holds water, right? Is the largest of several hundred ancient cisterns that lie beneath the city of Istanbul. That's where they got their water from. Okay, and it looks pretty clean. Apparently, there are big fish swimming around in this water as well, which is pretty cool. It's like crystal clear water. All right, so it also maybe suggests that Zander is someone who can see into a person, just like you can see into that water. Zander is that kind of character that sees right through you and cuts to the center of things, cuts to the core of the meaning of things. Okay. Versonken Paleis, the palace, the sunken palace, right? Something that is sunk underwater. That's also another name for these antique water reservoirs. It looks like a palace that is under the water. Okay, Versonken Paleis, 'n ander naam vir die antieke waterreservoirs. And inside there are these images of Medusa. It's that, right? That head there on its side. That is Medusa. Okay, what is Medusa? First I googled it in English just to get the meaning so we can understand what the heck it is. So Medusa in Greek mythology is the most famous of the monster figures known as gorgons. Okay, interesting. Okay, this is another thing that we're starting to see quite a few female characters that have meaning and influence. Okay, you'll remember in fact chapter 11 was entitled Valkyrie. Okay, also a female figure. So we're starting to see these references to either goddesses or really powerful females, which is interesting, which might be a precursor or vooruitwysing to some kind of powerful female figure that we may meet later. Ida is quite a strong figure, as we'll see, Xander's girlfriend. His mom's pretty strong, but there's a stronger one coming. So who was this person? She was usually represented as a winged female creature having a head of hair consisting of snakes. Lovely. Unlike Gordon, she was sometimes represented as very beautiful. Okay, so this was a very beautiful goddess. And then the book gives its own interpretation, or this is Greg's interpretation as a character. Medusa is 'n onderwêrelse gorgoniese suster. Okay, you have to gooi the G's there. Mense het in klip verander as hulle na haar kyk. So if they looked at her, they would change into stone. That doesn't sound great. Okay. Sy is in geboue geplaas. She was placed in buildings om boosheid weg te hou, to keep evil away. And she was in love with the son of Zeus. Okay, that is her history. And so she was put in buildings to keep evil away. Okay, so perhaps this is why we do not see the baker in this setting. Okay, there's no evil there. It's quite a transparent, clear place with lots of tourists, so it kind of represents a safe space, maybe. I don't know. That's just me making some interpretations and giving some opinions. Suddenly, Xander verskyn. Suddenly, Xander appears. This might suggest that he's not evil, right? Okay, he suggests that if Medusa is there, then he's not supposed to be there. She's the goddess that keeps evil away. But there he is, okay, and he kind of just talks to him like he's never left. Weird. Okay, he says, "Are you online yet? What's going on? You know, have you started moving?" Anyway, vertroue en wantroue. Vertroue is trust, and wantroue is the opposite of trust. Okay, broken trust. What's the word? Distrust, eh? Yeah. Xander's hair is kort geskeer. Now his hair is shaved short again. Greg is quite surprised. He's like, this guy's carrying a pistol. He's gewapen. He's weapon. What's the word? He's armed. Sorry, weaponized. That's not right. Armed, eh? Suddenly, I like this continual reference to stuff that we only found in the previous book, really. You remember that Greg used to see a lot of his brother John in Xander. Okay, Xander reminded him very strongly of his brother John, but not anymore. And this is just my comment, is that shows us how skillfully Xander manipulated Greg. He probably aimed exactly for that, to make himself seem like a brother to Greg, and specifically his brother John, taking on some of his characteristics maybe. Xander sê vir Greg dat sy pa gekry het wat hy verdien. He has a little stab. It's like shots fired here when the two talk. He says to Greg, listen, I followed your dad's trial and everything, and he got exactly what he deserved. He's an evil man. Obviously, this triggers Greg quite badly, but he stays calm. And Zander se glimlach van schadenvrede. He smiles. This is an interesting word. I thought we just analyzed it a little bit. Schadenvrede is a word that you can use in English and Afrikaans, just like that. It's German, right? I think it's German. Okay, not important. But what it means is it means taking pleasure in someone else's misery. Leedvermaak is the other Afrikaans word. If you say as iemand leedvermakerig is, then they're kind of teasing you when you're in misery. So, for example, if someone tells you, hey, you're going to a concert, and someone says, no, leave your phone at home, you're going to lose it at the concert. But then you take your phone anyway, and then you lose it at the concert, and then your friend says to you, no, I told you, stupid. And they kind of smile and make fun of you that you lost your phone. That's taking pleasure in someone else's misery. Okay. He asks Greg, listen, have you dumped your computer? He's like, yeah, I dumped my computer, I threw the phone away. Greg's like, the SIM card, where's the SIM card? And Greg still had his SIM card. Zander takes it out and throws it in the water. Okay, interesting. Gets rid of it by throwing it in the water. Continual references to water starting to emerge. Just keep that in mind. He puts a new phone. He puts a new phone in Greg's hand. He's like, grab this, take this, and then he gets caught out. Zander's too clever for Greg here on this occasion. Die transponder moes die phone oopsluit. As he put it in his hand, Zander had a good look. He's like, let me see if it unlocks. Let me see if the transponder works. It unlocks the laptop. He got into the laptop. Let me just put this phone in his hand, the new phone. Let me see if it unlocks, and then nothing happens. Zander besef, he realizes hy het vir Greg gejok. The transponder was supposed to unlock the phone. Zander is like, okay, that's it. I'm out. Done. I can't trust you. Hy raak kwaad en hy loop weg. Greg smeek hom. He begs him for another chance. He's like, please, I'll pay you money. Zander's like, I don't need money. Shut up. Just go away. Just don't talk to me. You're done. I can't trust you. Enjoy your holiday in Turkey. You're not going to hear from me again. He goes outside. Plank's waiting there. Plank's like, oh, let it go. And Greg's like, no, we stuffed it up. We're all alone. Okay, one more chapter. Iets ongesê. Something left unsaid. Okay, buite, sorry, this is only in chapter 31. Buite kry Greg vir Plank en vertel hom van die teleurstelling. He tells him of the disappointment, tells him what happened to Zander, and they decide to get something to eat. They eat these things called dirhams that they sell at little stalls on the street. It's basically, I googled it, that's what it is. It's basically a wrap with meat, either chicken or beef. I think that the two of them opt for different things, and then some other little things inside. Back at the hotel, the two are kind of reconnect as friends. They like had a big disappointment. Plank has followed Greg halfway across the world. Greg has gotten Plank into something really serious and sinister here, but they kind of make a friendship pact, and they promise that they will be friends forever. And Greg kind of also says, listen, I'll even be your best man when you marry Lisa. Okay, obviously kind of joking, but not joking. And they dream about the future and their children and what their children would be like and how they would play and how they would act. And they have a good laugh and a good bromance moment there. Besluit. Greg besluit die volgende dag dat hy steeds die baker wil opspoor. He still wants to find the baker. He decides, no, I'm determined. I'm going to find the baker. He tells Plunk this while they eat breakfast there at the hotel on the bottom floor. Suddenly, predictably, okay, I kind of saw this coming. Xander was not going to be out of the story, right? He suddenly appears behind them, and this is where we meet one of our strong female characters, which I really like, Ayla. She convinced them, sometimes you need a woman to speak sense into a man, and this is Ayla. She's his voice of reason in this matter. She's quite a logical thinker, thinks with she's more of a logical thinker than Xander, perhaps. Xander acts with emotion, doesn't he? He gets led by his emotion, even though he's very clever. I would say Ayla's kind of a grounding character. And she says people deserve second chances, and she convinced Xander to give them a second chance. Plunk nader. He grabs Plunk, and he's like, "You idiot." So this is Xander like pulling Plunk's arm there, like, "You idiot," and he sees that it's planted into his hand. He's just double checking that so Xander is very he doesn't trust anybody. He's a very distrustful human, and understandably he's the master manipulator, so he doesn't make any assumptions, he doesn't assume anything, and he doesn't trust anyone, and he leaves no stone unturned. Excellent. Okay, so well done. Thank you for that. Please help me share this video. It really helps me. And this one is still free. They won't be free forever. So please share them to your friends. Bye.